Hey everyone, and welcome to another Cranio family vlog. During the month of September, we are taking a question a day about craniosynostosis for Craniosynostosis Awareness Month. Today we are discussing the question, who is most likely to have craniosynostosis? So the long and short of this answer is the fact that craniosynostosis sometimes runs in families, usually when there's a syndrome at play.
So this condition does tend to occur randomly. There are many cases where there are siblings who do have cranio, and it does tend to be when there is a syndrome related. So when there are specific genetic factors that are found in common with siblings, they are more likely to have cranio within the same family. But there is still so much unknown as far as the genetic markings for craniosynostosis, and so there's still very much a wild card factor where we don't have a specific number. We don't know how often cranio is likely to occur in continual children when there is one who already has craniosynostosis. And we also don't know the difference between having one, what the chances are for another one, versus having craniosynostosis as a first-time occurrence within a family.
Right, when we had Zoe, and they've done a lot of exhaustive testing for Zoe when it comes to genetics, we were told when we found out that David was on the way that we had about a 75% chance of potentially having another child with craniosynostosis, just because there wasn't a syndrome indicated at that point in time. So then we had David, and there was no cranio with David, and when we found out that Jacob was on the way, we were told we have about a 75% chance of having another child with cranio. And there was nothing wrong with Jacob, so we're at 1 for 3 being told there's a 75% chance. We also heard from another doctor that it was about a 50-50 shot, just because we had a child with cranio, that we would eventually have another one with cranio even if there wasn't a syndrome. So there's a lot that's up in the air when it comes to who is most likely to get cranio. We do have a lot of acquaintances on different social media accounts that do have more than one child with craniosynostosis. There's a few sets of twins that we follow along, and there's also one where the older sibling has one, and then there's a gap of 2 children, and then there's a child who was just born with cranio. So it's kind of up to anybody. I mean, the staggering statistic is 1 in 2,500 live births in the U.S. results in some version of craniosynostosis. So that's a pretty daunting statistic for something that is so little known.
Basically, what I would say to somebody who is questioning what the likelihood is, you can find a few different guesses at best from different plastic surgeons and doctors who are around cranio on a regular daily basis, and they can give you the best guess, but it's just one of those unknown factors where you kind of just have to kind of have faith with the outcome of what is going to happen, because we just don't have set scientific data to back up a very specific number for whether there is going to be a child with cranio or a second or third child with cranio at this point.
Just like that, in less than 5 minutes, we answered the question of who is most likely to have craniosynostosis. This video is much shorter than a lot of the other ones we're going to do because there's so much that's up in the air. Most of the time, most people don't even hear the word cranio, much like we didn't, until the child with cranio is born. But if you want to follow along with more of our journey, we've got over 5 years worth of blogs at craniofamilyblog.com, where you can follow the journey from when we found out we were going to be parents all the way through Zoe's surgeries, all the way to just the other day. See you next time.